Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Veil. So today is a little bit of a different format than we typically take because we recently lost. We recently lost one of our own here in South Florida. Her name was Tara Horner, and she was a leader in the community and was my vice president on NACE, and was amazing at what she does. And so we wanted to honor her in some way. So the show is going to take on a little bit of a more somber note than you guys are used to. But I think it was important for us to talk about the fact that as event professionals, our clients don't see what our personal life, what's happening in our personal life. There are people that are obviously sick. There are people that are going through divorce. There are people that are going through, some type of loss. But our clients never see it, and that's because they're not supposed to. That's not their job. Their job is to allow us to create the most amazing event, and Tara was the epitome of that person. Many of us didn't even know that she was that sick, even though we worked alongside her every day. She never talked about it. She always had a positive attitude, and I think that says a lot about the human being that Tara was, because she was amazing. So let me introduce our Behind the Veil people. Obviously, Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy, and Brooke Logan Stoner, always beautiful. So, the thing is, guys, is again, we took on a little bit more somber note today in a way of honoring our friend Tara Horner. And Marcy and I were on NACE with her, where she served alongside us. And she did an amazing job. Like I said, she was the epitome of what an event professional is supposed to be. You're not supposed to let your clients know how you're feeling. You just don't. Or or let other people know how you're feeling, because that our job is to create celebrations and joy. And Tara did that to the very end. To the very end. You know what I mean? So, even the day before, she and I were texting back and forth, and zero reaction to how she was actually feeling. The fact that she was actually texting me from the hospital bed was, like, first of all, surprising. And second of all, totally the epitome of what a wedding professional does here in South Florida, because we make it happen. Right?
Right.
But why do we have such passion for what we do? I feel like that's why I wanted to dedicate the show, first of all, to Tara, but then to also talk about us as event professionals here in South Florida, because the only people that we really get to bitch to, let's be honest, is each other, right?
For sure.
Right. The only people that we really get to bitch to is each other. And and Tara never did that, which was really surprising. She never really talked about what she was going through. Always hopeful, and I think that's kind of what we all do to an extent. Is that we always look at the bright side of life, because how else are you supposed to create an amazing event if you don't really focus on the joy?
And she always tried to be, like, very inspirational to other people. In spite of the fact that she herself was dealing with so much turmoil and so much, in the end, pain. She was always being supportive of everybody else. But I think that was her nature, just listen to other people.
Yep.
Which is what she did, which she was amazing at, and give other people hope.
Yeah. And I feel like that's all of our jobs too. All of our jobs are to provide hope to our clients. And, if anything.
Yeah, it's a tough day. It's certainly one of those times when we've been looking back at all the little nuances and the stories and our little sayings. And, it's a difficult time.
Sure. So let's talk about the reason she loved this industry so much. I feel like that is the appropriate way to honor her, is to talk about the positive things that we have in our community here in South Florida. Because we do. I mean, it is a small group of people down here that make a lot happen. I mean, I can't even tell you how many weddings that Brooke and I have been doing where we have the same DJ, the same support staff, the same makeup artist as we did the wedding before, the next wedding. I mean, there's just not a lot of people here in South Florida that do what we do on a consistent basis in a professional way. I mean,
it's our family.
It is our family. And a lot of people, I don't think, really understand that unless you're in the entertainment world itself. You don't really understand what really is happening behind the scenes. And to be honest, that's not their job. Again, I'm going to say that again. It's not our client's job to worry about us because they're paying us to make their day perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're paying us to make their day perfect. So, to have a somber day like this is very rare. In our community, even though we know that life is hard and difficult, but our job is to paint. We're painting.
Fulfill dreams, fulfill joyous occasions, and and they're not they don't need to be dealing with what we have on our shoulders.
Exactly, because all of us. Go ahead.
It was the epitome of her personal life and her struggle and her battle that she was going through. Money didn't know about, for one. For two, she completely did the opposite. She positive vibes all the time. The energy she exuded was the complete opposite of what she was literally struggling with in her personal life. And to me, that's a champion.
Yes,
it really is. It really is. And so, and by the way, let me just do a little shout out to Tiffany Wheeler, who says, I think people who are passionate about what they do and who they are gravitate to hospitality. We are people in the service industry and we like to serve. We're perfectionists. It is our nature. We don't put anything less than 100% into anything that we do. The fact that we do something like that for a living is just who we are. And it's very hard to turn off. Nicely said.
Very, very true.
Nicely said, Tiffany. Nicely said.
Yes.
And and Susan Jeffy also, it was really lovely because she texted me and she's like, I think it would be a really good idea to, honor Tara. And we had already been talking about that, but it was nice to hear from somebody else outside of the show because sometimes we get into our little cocoon and we don't really always, hear everything that everybody's saying. But, it made me feel good that we were right in saying, it is okay to once in a while take a somber turn to honor one of our own. And so that's what we're going to do.
We were troopers for each other and champions for each other the whole way through. Why wouldn't we know? So,
right.
I agree.
Yeah. So, okay. What does it take to be an event pro here anywhere, actually? What are the qualities that, because I have people say all the time, well, I did my sister's wedding, so now I really I'm going to be a planner, right? I did my sister's wedding. I'm going to be a planner. I'm like, okay. The reason that you did your sister's wedding and the reason that it came across so well is because you had people like Tara and people like Marcy and people like myself that were supporting you. It didn't happen on your own. And, what we do takes a whole different level of energy and time. So
what my sister's wedding, thank you.
I couldn't hear you.
Sister's wedding, thank you.
Oh my goodness. So Brooke, you may want to change out your earbuds because I'm having a hard time hearing you. But Marcy, I mean, we've been doing this a long time. We've been in the South Florida community. Both of us are I'm president of NACE. You're the immediate past president. Jamie Oristano was the leader of IDEA. I mean, there are very few organizations here in South Florida that are here to, support our local community in as many ways as possible. So what makes a great event person? I love the way Tiffany put it. It is our nature. We were born this way. Little nod to Lady Gaga, but
I think, first and foremost, I think it takes a very caring individual, somebody who is willing to put in there all the time, somebody who is passionate, somebody who wants the best for other people.
Yeah.
You know, they thrive on watching other people have success. And I think that's really the impetus for a lot of us getting into this field. And honestly, once you get into it, if you have the bug, and that's what we all call it, the bug. Yep. It catches you, and you're not going to get out of it. To be honest,
because there is nothing better than that moment when a couple says "I do," or the moment that they bring you in and they say, "We cannot say thank you enough for creating the most amazing day." Right? There's that moment, and you can pay me. You can pay me a lot of money, or I didn't get paid much at all, and the reward feels the same at that moment.
Because it's the emotion, it's the feeling and the emotions that come over you and get into your soul.
Yeah, it really is. Well, I mean, Brooke, you've been part of Keith Willard events for a couple of years now. What is it that you love about what we do?
Well, I think with anything, especially weddings in general.
Yeah.
What's the happiest day of your life? Should be, I love seeing the love. I love seeing the camaraderie. I love seeing families get together. I love to see the celebration. I mean, that's just a wonderful thing. And I get to see that all the time. How lucky am I? Do you know what I mean? And you spoke about getting the bug. Well, you bugged me. I didn't ask for this. That's why Keith stole me away. And here we are. And I'm so thankful and grateful that he has, because I'm starting to flourish. I just became the new executive lead manager of his company. I couldn't ask for a better boss or a better friend. So, I mean, I'm # blessed and highly favored. So, I mean, this has changed my life. So,
and I think one other thing is we support each other, and to no end. People are just very supportive, especially down here in South Florida. We, like we talked about earlier, we're like a family, and we're there for each other in good times and in bad times. And, you need something for an event, you're going to be able to find that, because we have our network of people that we can count on to help us figure out how to get out, how to get what we need in a time crunch even.
Well, like Susan Jaffe just said, you have to be able to get goosebumps when you see that you've delivered the most special day exactly as they dreamed it to be.
Yes.
And
very true.
That is very so true. Well, and the thing is that it's interesting that we also find that there's a certain artistry to what we do. And sometimes we see that unique quality in another person, and we say, you know what, you really should be doing this. This is what you need to be doing. I mean, a perfect example is Erica Rango with Light Sky Photography. Mm-hmm. I mean, she used to be in my doctor's office. She used to be the person that ran the doctor's office, and randomly showed me some of her photos, and I knew she was going to be amazing. But if she asked me my opinion of her photos, and I said, you need to quit this job right now, and you need to be doing your own thing. Look at her. Now
Chief
look
Willard,
at her.
The pusher.
Right?
He's really good at finding hidden talent, honey. And there you go.
But that's the thing is that, and here she is following her passion and her joy. And I almost want to say, it seems super passe to say, and her truth. But, that is actually part of what we do is this is our truth. We do this because we were meant to. I totally believe that. I totally believe that this is exactly what I was meant to do my entire life. And it, I had to go through a process, obviously, like all of us did, in order to find that specific place that I should be. But it was always in the event world. And even when I tried to leave the event world or the hospitality world, I sucked myself back right into it.
Right.
Because,
that's
somebody, you're good at it.
Right, but
somebody knows.
Yeah, or somebody.
It's also like, when they say, the old saying is if you love what you do, you're never going to work. You're never going to work a day in your life, kind of thing.
Right. If you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I feel like that's a crock of shit. But anyway.
Also.
No, I do think that there's some element of it. There's some element of it. I mean,
Oh yeah, no. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding because that is actually true. If you love what you do, you never work a day of your life. But we all work really crazy hard. Oh my God, we work so crazy hard at what we do here in South Florida. And then Tiffany was just saying, she says, "I love being a part of someone's story. I love seeing the pictures people post from their events. I photographed over 10 years ago, celebrating their dance with their dad, or the first look with their husband, or a hug from their aunt. That's magic." Got it. I mean, Tiffany, my God, seriously, you should be writing.
She's winning question and answer on this episode.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, Tiffany should be like, yeah, she's nailing this right on it. I mean, but that's the thing about our South Florida community is that we are all so passionate about what we do. I mean, if it's Lisa Pierce or if it's Jamie Littman or if it's any of these other, event planners, if it's Mike Sipe, if it's like, oh my goodness, there are so many people that we get so used to the fact that they're always on, they're always positive, they're always up, that sometimes we forget that there's something else that could be possibly going on in their life. And I think, Marcia, you said before we went on air, is that Tara was the epitome of that because she never let on ever that she was not feeling well. Not even to our own industry. And I already said that if it's me, I'm gonna bitch. Oh yeah, I'm going to be, because I'm gonna because who else am I gonna depend on? I got to depend on my own community, but that's just who she was. And I think that she was the best of all of us. She really was, in an unassuming way.
Yes.
And that's surprising because it was in an unassuming way. She was very low key about what she did. I mean, when she did Taste of an Ace, and let's just say Taste of an Ace was an awesome event. But really, the reason Taste of an Ace was so good was because Tara really was the force behind it. And you didn't really realize it until later, when all of a sudden you have 40 different vendors all involved. And yeah, we all had a little something to do with it here and there. But, if it hadn't been for her, giving up her location, which was, where she was working at the time, and convincing her own chef to be a part of it, I don't know if we would have been able to pull that off. And I think I think that could be probably said for almost every event here in South Florida. There's always going to be an individual that you go, this event really couldn't have happened if it hadn't been for them.
And that's how you know you're good.
Right?
That's how you know.
Somebody who steps up.
If you didn't know it, now you know it.
And I feel like, our event industry sometimes people don't realize what an influence that we really do have on people's lives. What do they say? People get to be together for weddings, births, and anniversaries and deaths, right? That's the only time that everybody gets together. And guess who's all involved in that? We are.
Stephanie Zelko just sent me a text and it says, another great satisfaction, please, when you finish an event such as a wedding or a bar mitzvah and your client comes back to you for another event such as a baby shower or an anniversary because of their relationship and their trust with you. Right.
That's the best, isn't it? I mean, Brooke, just recently we did a wedding over at the Pelican Grand, and the bride was 4 months pregnant. And what a freaking pleasure it was to then get an immediate phone call and say, we want you to do the baby shower.
That was so. It's first thing when she was speaking on reading. That's the first thing I thought was, I'm like, we might know something about that.
I know.
That's awesome. That feeling, like, that's when you've done it right. That's when it's happened and it's all great. When you get that call back to do when we did the baby shower and everyone, all the moving pieces that were involved in that was amazing.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for your good brains. And that's satisfaction. And granted, we got some awards. Let's not talk about that. We're not one of the best, Keith. But that's how you really know. It's not so much an award. It's those moments and those occasions and the callbacks. That's really, if you didn't know, now you know. That's it. Right. So, and I love that. Like that makes me feel so proud. It's those moments.
Well, and Tyler Black just said,
No
what
idea
other what other industries slow shows us to make lasting life friends, where you're doing multiple generations of events. You did the parents' wedding, you're doing the daughter's wedding, and now you're going to do let's not say grandson quite yet. I'm not quite at that age, Danielle.
Anyway. Yeah, don't put us there yet. Give us another few 5-10 years.
But that is one of the rare moments. I mean, what other industry where do you get to be involved in a multi-generational concept, in a multi-generational way, where the parents love what you did for them so much that they trust you with their own child's wedding, or their own child's bar mitzvah, or their own child's whatever. I mean, there just aren't a lot of industries where we get to be this involved with the positive parts of people's lives. Right. I mean, how cool are we?
And it's also the fact that we get to be creative for our clients. We get to have that creative outlet to do something different, do something out of the box sometimes. Or, if somebody is not, somebody wants something more classic, you can pull that in, but you can do it in a unique way. And that's just part of our repertoire of the things that we enjoy about what we do for people, is bring them something that is pertinent to them.
Well, and I go back to the baby shower because Nicole and Michael Sellers with CL Events, creating those lightning bolts out of roses. I mean,
those are amazing.
I would have never been able to figure it out. But I mean, so not only is our community creative and loving and supportive in multiple ways, but they're also geniuses in their own right as far as figuring things out. I mean, how many industries do you know that it takes everything to be successful? You have to be a people person. You have to have consistency. You have to always show up. And then you also have to break things down to its simplest parts and figure out how to recreate it in a way that nobody has ever done before. So that way it's something totally unique and different. There's just not that many industries in the world today that do what we do.
And you have to be a business person too.
And you have to be a business person. On top of it all, you have to worry about the monies coming in, and especially this last year. I mean, holy moly. I mean, the fact that all of us are still standing here in South Florida is, first of all, a miracle, and it's unfortunate that all of us are still standing.
Bless your heart, because I'm surely sitting down for this podcast. So if y'all are standing, kudos.
But kudos to here we are on the other side of this, and I really feel like we're coming out, and it's sad that we got hit yet again. I mean, first Debbie Malago, God bless her, and then now Tara Horner. And I mean, our community is suffering a lot, actually. Yeah. I'm having a hard time holding back the tears, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So if I'm deferring a lot.
It's been a rough couple of days, and it happened on Mother's Day, which she was going to be a grandmother. It was just it's unfortunate.
Yeah, so much unfortunate happened.
But again,
a moment.
The fact that she epitomized everything that we really love about our South Florida community, that we love about our South Florida event planners and event specialists. I mean, the people that are outside are watching us right now, our community. I don't know if I could say thank you enough to everybody, because there is no way that this show, that my business, that my life would be where it is if it weren't for people like Tara. And that's really what it comes down to, is that we depend on each other in so many ways that I don't think that we really appreciate day to day. Probably takes way too much energy to think about this every day, but I think for today we can rely on each other and rejoice in the fact that we have a true family down here, and that we know some of the most incredible human beings on this planet. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and we are lucky enough to know the top 2% I'll say,
Exactly.
wait, I guess what it would be, 1/4%? I don't want to get into math. Oh my God.
You're popular.
I am the worst at math. I'm like, oh my God. I can tell you how many tables and how many chairs at each table, but don't no equations. Oh my God, forget that. No equations. But and I'm not even talking about, and I haven't even brought up the fact that this community includes executive chef. It includes the people that clean the rooms. It includes the front desk agents that make sure that they have a smile on when you walk into the hotel. Our hospitality industry is one of the largest industries in the world. And yet it is overlooked in so many ways, not just by human beings in general, but sometimes by the government, sometimes by our local leaders, because again, we're not the squeaky wheel. Our job is to make other lives better.
I mean, there was an association formed because there was no representation for our industry.
Well, that's actually the beginning of NACE.
We're both members.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's actually how NACE started, is because it was a bunch of the banquet captains in New York. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? A bunch of the banquet captains in New York, and nobody was giving them due process. They had, they needed each other to support each other in order to get raises, to get health care, to get rights, to create a union. And so that's why this association even exists, is because we're overlooked in many ways. And in many ways we're supposed to be, because that's, again, our job. Our job is to make other lives better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But once in a while, it's all right to stop. I don't want to drag this on too long. I feel like, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. I just want to say thank you to our community at large. You have been amazing in supporting us. And I thank y'all.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, gosh. There they went. Oh my God. I almost made the whole show.
It's okay to be human.
Almost made the whole.
You're talking about your vice president. It's okay.
Right. Yeah. So, but thank you to our South Florida community for being the people that you are, and thank you to just the events community in general. What you do matters, and I don't know if enough people say that, but what we do in this world and how we make it better matters, and you should be proud of the fact that you're part of this amazing industry, and it is okay to talk about it, and it's okay to lean on each other, and it is okay to not always be 100% positive. Life is hard, so reach out, lean on each other, and then continue to do all the excellent work that you do. And I know that from us, from Behind the Veil, we appreciate all of you, and we will be back next Tuesday, back with our regular format. And I'm going to pull up. I don't want to put too much pressure on anybody. But next week we actually have the owner of Atlas Events, who's going to come on and talk about the event rental world and what it takes to be a business owner in this day and age. And so we're really looking forward to having Heather from Atlas Rentals next week, right here, Behind the Veil, every Tuesday at 2. For now, thank you all very much. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. We love you.